Hey there. Welcome. Mike Williams again with Genesis. And look, thanks very much for spending some time with us. I want to say ahead of time, I hope this particular lesson really drives home a point. Uh, After the last 15 years, look, we've had two bear markets, we've had two wars, we've had price collapses in everything. The world came to a halt in March of 2009. We had a tech bubble that started off the new century. This has not been a good place. Obviously, we had 9/11 and all the emotional changes that went on from that. Here we are 15 years into the new century, and do you know the most often question I get asked? Here's what I get asked. No matter where I go, no matter what talk I'm doing, no matter what conference I'm at, no matter what part of the world, here's the question. Mike, when's the stock market going to crash again? I always know a few things when someone says that to me. First of all, the answer is I have absolutely no idea. uh, no one knows when the stock market is going to crash. Why? Well, we all want to believe we're in control of stuff. Everybody wants to think we're walking on concrete and a strong foundation. Life isn't that way. In fact, nothing in life is that way. But once we accept it, that's all right. That's the way we've existed since the beginning of mankind. Nothing's going to change. So what can we do? We can manage risk, but more importantly, when someone says to me, Mike, when is the stock market going to crash? It tells me one really important thing. It says, A, they've missed the upside because they were afraid ever since the last one crashed. And two, they haven't planned. You see, when someone plans, when we get a client that has planned out their future, well, first of all, they've handled all their short-term needs. They have their emergency funds. They have their cash items. They have their debt in order. They have their mortgage in place. They have their household needs. They have their kids' needs, their family needs, their insurance needs. Everything in the immediate future is covered, okay? And if you don't have that money or those issues at risk, then you don't wonder whether the stock market's going to crash. Because here's why. Everything else is 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years away. If you're 20 years away from retirement, what does it matter to you if the stock market crashes next week? Hopefully it does, by the way. We tell people, pray for a correction, because corrections are literally once or twice in a lifetime opportunities to buy things at panic level prices. We'll talk about that more in another lesson. But here's the point of this one. If you have planned all of your immediate needs and you have those covered, let me tell you what your brain does about the future. Your brain will be more patient. It will accept corrections as part of every 20-year pathway. Look, you won't find a 20-year period where we haven't had a couple of corrections. Maybe even a bear market or two. But it always ends up. You also won't find a 10-year period where you lost money if you stayed on your path. If you did what the crowd does, and that is run for the hills when things get cheap, you ended up on the short end of the stick. That's not the market's fault. That's your emotions. That's your actions. That's your fight or flight syndrome that we've talked about. But planning gives you confidence. It means that you have covered the important items. It means that now you know, hey, I shouldn't be worried about next month if I don't need my IRA for 19 years. I shouldn't worry about whether or not the next quarter of earnings are bad and the market is soft if I don't need my kids' education for 14 years. Why would you worry about next quarter or next year for that matter? Over time, the markets have proven one very discomforting thought, and that is this. Those who take advantage of what looks like negative stock market environments end up with more money. Why? They buy cheaper instead of sell cheaper. They take advantage of panic instead of run with the crowd. My mother told me something a long, long time ago, and she was right about this. If you want to get a different result, you have to do something that's different from what everyone else is doing. Most people don't plan. Start your plan. Get your plan in order. Make sure the important events are taken care of, because I promise you this, if you have emotionally taken care of that, the senses that fire off when things look difficult, and they will in the future. We will get another bear market. We will get another flash crash. We will have more bad times. But we want to prepare you to take advantage of those times instead of panicking during those times. So when someone says to me, Mike, when is the next crash coming? I say I have no idea, but if you've planned for it, you'll be able to take advantage of it. So I hope that's helpful today. We're looking forward to the next lesson for you. Have a great week. Remember, make sure that you check out our podcast on iTunes. It's Investor Insights, hosted by yours truly. And by the way, my wife says I don't smile enough in videos. So here you go. Have a great week. Deemed something that is repeated often that we'd like to call the 5 most expensive words in investing. And let me tell you what those are.